I'm here with Naomi Johnson in the jungles of Africa. No, it's not. It's Edinburgh. It's still Edinburgh, even though it's got palm trees. Not palm trees. What are they? Pampas grasses. Probably not even pampas grasses. Some sort of thing. It's got a thing.
Yeah, it's green. It's quiet. And it's a little bit of breathing space in amongst the madness.
Exactly. We've been trying to find somewhere to film because every time you go, well, that's a nice quiet place, you're like, well, we're bothering other people from being quiet. So if anyone comes along and goes, shh, then you'll know why. Because we need a piece of calm in a very stressful Edinburgh. It's only day one, but for us, how's it been for you so far? This is Naomi Johnson, by the way.
Hi, everyone.
4 shows, so you need a lot of calm, really.
A lot of calm and actually a lot of sleep. So thankfully all my shows fall between 11 and 7, so I've got lots of time for sleeping. It's a long day, but there's time to rest. I don't know how people do these 2 o'clock in the morning shows. I'm too old for that malarkey now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no,
but I guess you all work on a different timeline.
You know what you want. I mean, you get used to it. If you've got 2 o'clock in the morning show, presumably you're asleep all day and you can adjust to the situation.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't expect any of those people to make it to my shows.
No, exactly. It's a very different vibe. There's also different types of audience. That's it. There's an audience for everyone. So there's a 2 o'clock in the morning audience. There's a I don't think so audience, and there's a I'm not even going to get up no matter what time of day it is. I'm too tired. Go away audience, and you're probably not going to get them in your show somehow.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. Didn't need them. They can have their lovely life, and we'll wish them the best. Anyway, your shows, how are they going? You've got a children's show.
Okay, so I've had 2 shows that have started already, so I've already done those now. One's a kids show. It's called It's Your Story. It's on in Brewdog, Lothian Road at 11:05 every day apart from Tuesdays. And the premise of that is that the story remains constant every day, but actually the characters, the places, the things all change, and it's all determined by the audience. We've got a dressing up box, because who doesn't love dressing up? I do. Yeah. And so hopefully a chance for the kids to just have a bit of a giggle and a laugh and a pretty nice easy start to the day. Then my next show is actually a Brewdog straight after that one, which is really handy. So albeit I've got 4 shows a day, at least I don't have a transition.
Stay there. Yeah.
So that's 12:15 every day apart from Tuesday, and that's, I guess, none of them are a main show, but that's my show I also brought to Edinburgh Fringe last year, and it did really well. So that's called The World at 15 miles an hour-ish, and it's my true story of cycling around the world, 20,000 miles, 26 countries, with a man I'd met 3 times.
Which really does sound dangerous. Very brave, yeah.
Brave, stupid, but...
The same thing. Brave and stupid is usually the same thing, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zones, and that's what creates great stories.
Yeah.
Everything I'm about is stories, I think. That's the main thing for me.
Stories is important, yes. Yeah. So you've got 3 shows, and we've talked about 2 shows. What are the other 2 shows? You've got 4.
So my other one is it's called Bike Race Through Africa. So one of my trips on my 20,000 mile trip was included going from Cairo to Cape Town, but there's not really any time in my main show to talk about that, but there's a lot of stories that come from cycling the length of a continent, with zebra, with hyena, with elephants,
on the back of your bike.
Well, on the road at the same time, So that was pretty amazing. But it was it's one part of my trip that was semi-organised. So, and it was set up as a race. Now, you probably can't see me all on camera, but I'm not this svelte, athletic, superhuman.
You might be.
But it was set up as a race.
Yeah.
And so the big question through the whole show is, did I ever win a stage of the Cairo to Cape Town trip? And you'll only find out the answer by coming to the show.
That's a secret.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a good way to make people come and see your show. Yeah.
Yeah. And my last show is my new show, which I'm particularly proud of this year. So it's my first time doing a solo theatre show, and it's called Tit Talk. Yeah, Tit Talk. In case you didn't catch that, a few people are like, what?
Birds.
Like the birds, or the breasts. I mean, you can think of it either way.
It's just for subtitling purposes. There might be an asterisk in it so that we don't get banned off the platform. This is the trouble. You can't talk about real things in real life anymore. It's really annoying.
And it is about real things. Yeah. So it's, if you're coming to my show thinking it's the frivolous, burlesque type stuff that you see at the Fringe, it's not. It's kind of, it shares some of those fun times, but actually it's about more challenging times of going through breast cancer journeys turned into a kind of dramatisation. So it's, I think, a powerful story to share.
Oh, absolutely.
And one that I hope will raise people's awareness.
Yeah.
So
I think so. And the thing is, people don't talk about things that they should talk about a lot of the time, and it gets all hushed up. It's like things that are very vital about the body, especially like the female body. A lot of the time people have like taboos which they really shouldn't, and then are talking about things that maybe should be more taboo. It's difficult really to know what
it's
to
really
do.
hard, and it's interesting. I mean, even in generating my own show title and publicity, like I know I did a preview in my hometown, which I have to say went really well. I got a standing ovation, which was a pretty powerful moment, I have to say. But a few people were we thought the posters were a bit, I'm like, are we but they were noticeable, and we're not going to get people to talk about stuff that's really important if we just hide it all the time under a bush. And
I think the whole situation with the world today is because people don't know enough about their own and other people's bodies, and the very big differences and the things that can go wrong and why they can go wrong and how they can stop them to go wrong. Because you're not talking about it, you don't know about it, then it's going to lead to terrible things happening.
Absolutely.
Really.
And the whole thing for me doing that show is I want people to be talking. So the whole idea is that people go away and talk about the show, and then it might be that someone goes and talks about my show to someone who actually has been starting to feel like something's not quite normal. And if that picks up a cancer diagnosis early, that's surely a good thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's it sounds funny to say the show's also entertaining, but it's on a serious subject.
Serious subjects are entertaining. This is what I don't really get about, that's too serious to joke about, you shouldn't say about that. It's like, no, that's when you should make jokes about it. This is when we should, at our own expenses and at the expense of the thing that is terrible, not at other people's, not to never punch down. I don't
Absolutely
think.
I mean, I'm sharing a personal journey, so
exactly.
I'm
Personal
not sharing
journey.
anyone else's story.
So it's your story to tell. That's it. When you can't tell that story, it's like, it's your story to tell. Of course you can.
Yes. So no, I'm really hopeful that that's a show that really gets picked up actually by people and goes on to do some just amazing work in the future. Actually,
I should think it would. I mean, there was Jack Rook was a speaker yesterday. There was an opening of the Free Fringe, and talking about he did two very powerful and very successful shows. He started with the Free Fringe, by the way, I didn't know that, with poetry and about grief, and about both of them were about grief, and they immediately, it's something that people, it's a powerful thing, but it also, it's how you get seen is talking about these things, because people don't talk about these things.
Absolutely. And I mean, grief, I mean, I guess I touch on bits of that as well, but I mean, it affects us all. And I think sometimes we need people who aren't frightened to talk about stuff, to help people who perhaps are a little more conservative or are too frightened to ask a question, to feel like there's suddenly someone they can come to and go, what was your experience of this? And know that we're not afraid to share some of that.
And know that you won't judge people for it or laugh in their face. I mean, laughter is great, but not laughing at people.
Absolutely.
Again. So, but laughing at the situation, laughing at something that, Riley, like, what is, gallows humour is a thing. Like, people, I've been told off for like laughing at something grim or dark. It's like, what is wrong with you? Because that is what you laugh at. That's how you get through life.
And I'm kind of laughing at myself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If it's a cell phone, then you are in a way empowering yourself and showing the way. Yeah.
And I think it's, for me, that's about taking something positive from a negative situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so
that's what I think too.
So Fringe this year is super exciting. I'm sure by the time I get to the end of August, I'll be absolutely worn out. But aren't we all? But that's part of the joy of being here.
It is part of the joy of being
and
here.
I come to the shows. I guess that's all I can say. Come.
Yeah. So, on other notes, have you seen other people's shows yet? Or are you planning to? Is there anything that you like? That's something that I really want to go and see now.
Do you know? I've got to tell, I haven't looked through the programme yet. So I arrived in Edinburgh, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
First, it's all been about setup.
It's early days at the moment,
particularly with 4 shows, I've been getting the right gear to the
You have to bed
right
yourself
places.
in before you decide these things.
And actually, because I've only had 2 shows on today, it's gone quite well so far. I'm building up to my 4 shows. So I've got a bit of time today. So this will be when I actually go back and look through the Fringe programme.
It's difficult as well because you've got 4 shows. Then finding shows that aren't on at the same time as you that you can get to and that you can get back to.
And that also aren't on too late.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So last year I had this crazy rule that I wouldn't go and see a show that was on after 10 o'clock at night, because I was on in the mornings.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit grumpy, but I was just like, by the time I get home, if the show doesn't start till 10, it's going to be midnight. I'm up at 7. I'm like, I can't do that.
No, you can't. And the thing is, this is your second Fringe, so you've already learned a lot. But I mean, usually somebody's first Fringe, they go at it. And sometimes the first 4 or 5 Fringes, I went at it and I was just, you live and learn. And I wasn't like a terribly young person even when I started. So I should have known really. But it's easy to know that in retrospect, really, to go, I should have paced myself. But, you have to learn these things, really.
Well, I was going to say,
bitter experience.
Maybe if we're back here in a year's time having this conversation again, you'll be going, how was the 4 shows last year? And I'll be going, never again.
Didn't pace myself.
But
pace
we'll
is,
see.
No, because it's so early, you've got time to factor that in. Yeah. No, just before we were on camera, I was just talking about persona. So do you have a comedy persona or a sort of like theatrical persona that's not necessarily entirely you, that you see it through? Is it you as, it's always going to be filtered through what you've rewritten.
Do you know,
flies landing me.
I'm not very good at being someone that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, I do lots of drama. I'm in local drama groups, and I always say, I'm comfortable on stage, and I can play laughter. I can do tough, sad scenes. But what I'm not very good at is even accents, like being someone else.
Yeah.
So usually, if I'm on stage, what you'll get is me, which is also interesting as an artist, because you're like, well, what if I don't always want to be me?
No, but it's an aspect of you.
Else?
A lot of time it's a carefully cultivated version of you when you're doing a show, and you really, really you've got this is the bit, because you're not always going to want people to see. Sometimes you want people to see the worst part of you, and that's the entertainment, especially if you're not too vain about yourself. But, there's always going to be a slight, this is what I want you to see. So do you think there's, like, aspects of you're like, not that you wouldn't go there, or that you might?
I think the probably, if I'm being truthful, yes. I think I do talk particularly in my TikTok show about how even once you might have had good news, it still stays with you, and you still struggle with anxiety.
Exactly.
But most people who just see me out and about and see me at my show would think I didn't worry about anything at all.
Exactly.
And that's not the case.
No, exactly. So there's a difference between like being fake and having a facade, because being fake is like you're trying to deceive somebody, but having a facade, it's just you don't need to show everything to everyone. Really.
No.
It's a difference in wording, really, in terminology, maybe.
I think so, and it's just this. I'm a pretty open person, but that doesn't mean I tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is reserved for the people I'm closest to.
Yeah, that's
because
a good point.
Actually, it's really important that I think you keep part of yourself special for other people. Yeah.
That's true. I quite a lot of times have been accused of oversharing and saying too much, but it's like I really don't, because there's a hell of a lot of me that I've never told anyone, that I'm not going to tell anyone, I'm not prepared to, I'm not ready to, or whatever. So I share a lot. Maybe there's a lot going on that it looks like I'm oversharing, and I'm really not.
Yes, no, I would agree with all of that. Some of my secrets are my secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's everyone, I think.
Yeah,
there are very few people that will tell everybody everything.
No, is that brave? Is that stupid to go back to that? Yeah.
I think that's just being human.
It's just being human,
just being human.
But it's up to them. If somebody wants to show every aspect of themselves, like people go, wow, this influencer is this, and oh, look, you're telling us too much, and you're so reality TV stars, none of that's real, generally. So you think that they're telling you everything about their life. They're telling you absolutely nothing about their life or anything about them. This is a very cultivated, not necessarily even by them, a cultivated thing. So,
and I don't think I'm certainly not that person. I'm more real than that.
Real, yeah, exactly.
I think it's really important to me that because I'm sharing such personal stories, they come with that strong, authentic voice.
It has to be authentic.
Otherwise, they lose their power.
Well, exactly. It has to be authentic, but it doesn't have to be everything about yourself. You don't have to string the bits out. It's like, there's my heart and my liver and my kidneys, because that's inside. But you can if you want, and I don't think you should judge people if they do. Yeah.
Some people are really happy to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's also, you have to be very careful when you're sharing a lot about yourself. You're actually sharing a lot about other people at the same time.
It's like, it can be quite,
You've got to be really careful what you say if someone else isn't comfortable with that. So again, like my husband knows everything I share in my stories because he's parts of bits of my story. And it was really important that I know he's comfortable with everything I talk about, because I'm talking about him as much as I'm much as I'm talking about me,
but in ways. Yeah, exactly. You've got to balance it, haven't you? It's like, if it's your story to tell. Now, I want to talk about something might be a bit controversial. That's a lot of people that are going on about the I can't remember her name. That Amanda Knox, that's her, Amanda Knox. Now, what's your response to that? Because I've heard that she's actually doing a thing about how media attention and how people spin things, and it's not necessarily about the thing that people think it's about.
You see, I think that's the interesting challenge, right? So, if someone was using a show to do a comedy about someone else's
then that would be
and
horrible.
Being brutal.
But is that it? That can't be it.
But
surely.
I can't imagine that's what the show's
I
about.
can't imagine it can be.
I can't. But having not seen the show or read the script, you don't know. So the question that sits in my head is that clever media and awareness raising by the publicists about that show?
Yeah.
Or
because
is
it's
that
not
the
that
media
clever,
having
because
a
it's
reaction?
had a terrible backlash, and I would have thought that specifically that person who's gone through the family of the two families. It's not just one. It's a lot of backlash. Meredith Kirshner, I think. I mean, you feel very badly for that whole family, and obviously everything that happened. But when it's gone through a lot of public scrutiny and somebody has been, cleared of the charges, it's very difficult. It's like Fatty Arbuckle back in the day. Did actually he squash that woman? And Virginia, I think Virginia something. Virginia is a very popular name with people that have had bad things happen to them, isn't it? Because his name wasn't cleared, but everyone was like, well, he was innocent. But it's like, no smoke without fire. It's difficult to know, because if somebody's implicated in a story, even if they're cleared of all charges, you've still got in the back of your mind, how about that thing?
You do, but that also doesn't mean that someone shouldn't be allowed to do anything for the rest of their life. And I think that's where this stuff's very difficult. And I strongly hold to the view that until you've seen the show, it's very difficult to say whether it's a good or
exactly.
Good and
you can't
bad's the
defend
wrong
somebody
word,
without
actually.
knowing all the stuff. And even then, you don't know all the stuff because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. This is why nobody should be judging. Nobody should be judging anyone. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say because sometimes things need to be judged. Don't do that. Public opinion says you shouldn't do that, and that's another thing where people are doing things because nobody's telling them not to.
There's nothing wrong with being kind.
There's nothing wrong. That's what you should be doing. Yes, exactly. So I've sort of strung myself up into an argument that's countered its own argument here. If you are kind, then don't be judgmental to other people and be very aware, but don't judge them for doing their own thing, lest they themselves be religious now, isn't it?
Yeah, but also don't judge things until you've got all the facts.
You've got all the facts.
I don't feel I have all the facts.
No, I don't. Which is why I'm getting a little bit sort of like, why are people judging when they don't know all the facts? But I don't know all the facts. But that's why I'm not really. I haven't got an opinion.
I don't know. Stand up for her.
Exactly.
Or be talking against it.
Exactly.
I can't do either of those things.
But I mean, it's talking about sensitive subjects, presumably. But how is it talking about sensitive? I mean, if somebody has. I mean, you can't stop, like you said, you can't stop somebody telling their own story. If it is her story and it's not like imposing somebody, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard. And then if you're telling somebody else's story, how much can you tell? It's just like, because I mean, most of drama and history and reporting is telling other people's stories. It's like, how much should you be allowed to tell?
Yeah.
This has gone all philosophical and
Yeah,
impossible to
yeah.
know. Sorry, yeah.
It is, and you
Yeah.
you can only share and choose the stuff you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That equally goes back to where we started. Doesn't mean you're lying.
No.
If you're deliberately telling someone something that's not true but putting it out as a true story,
Yeah,
that's
not
quite
good.
different. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a different thing. Yeah.
But it's
But then
interesting,
again,
isn't it?
yeah.
For all truth should be very black and white. It's actually not.
It's not, but also I've got a lot of sympathy for. There was a bunch of like novels or novelized. They were actually novels. There was a memoir. Memoir is a difficult thing, but there was at least one novel in about 15 years ago that purported to be written by a runaway homeless trans person, was actually written by like a middle-aged Midwestern mom, who actually then went as so far as to ask a cousin or some relative to pretend to be this writer that wasn't really her, but it was all fictional anyway. And so everyone was up in arms that this person that was pretending to be the author wasn't the author. But then again, none of it was true anyway, so why are you so annoyed about it?
It's interesting, isn't it? I guess
Yeah.
more recently we've had the
Yeah.
whole salt path
Oh yeah.
debate.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, the world at 15 miles an hour is based
Yeah.
on my book. I mean,
Yeah.
and which is true.
Yeah. Cool.
It is true.
Until the scandal comes out, no.
there is no
scandal.
scandal. There is no
There's
scandal.
no scandal.
But,
Yeah.
But it was still a great read, you know, and that was a book that affected me greatly. And then you're like, well, what was wrong about that? Was it the way it was sold? Because it wasn't the story in itself for
No.
me. But that's what I mean about truth is very different to
Exactly.
different people.
What was it? A Boy Called It or something? That was the memoir, I think. Something like
I've
that.
not read that.
No, I haven't read it, but it was like on Oprah's book club or something. It's quite a while ago now. And then it was. Everyone was like, "Oh, we thought this was your story of your life," and they were like, "No, I never said that. You just thought that." And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. No, I mean, the story that I know I've written is a
It's true,
segment of my life, but
Exactly.
it's all true.
But it's all true. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's true in as much as you can't say it's not true. Then it's true. Yeah, exactly. Truth.
So-
What is truth? What is? Yeah, but again, it's not everything, because you can't give everything, because you won't have anything left if you give every single part of you.
Yes.
Just enough.
I think
To
I give
help other
people a
people.
fair amount.
Yeah.
I hope, but I
Yeah,
hope,
yeah.
like you say, I hope it's giving to enable other people.
Exactly.
Giving to open up conversations.
Exactly.
Giving, my big thing is inspiring people.
Inspiring is important.
And
yeah.
they're all the reasons I love. Don't get me wrong, I love performing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing the Fringe if you didn't enjoy it. I don't.
No,
think.
I don't think so. I'd keep doing it, and I must somehow deep down enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it's awareness, it's inspiration, it's all that. It's like, what's the impact that my show will have on someone?
Yeah, but it sounds to me like you had an impact last year. You're likely to have an impact this year on all sorts of people, because you're doing the kids show, you're doing the bike show, you're doing the other show with the name that I'll get censored
more
for,
bike
isn't it? The
shows.
more bike shows.
Yeah.
And you're doing. Sorry, there's a wasp here. A wasp isn't it? I'm not afraid of wasps. I'm just like, what are you doing?
It's okay. It's
Okay. We won't panic, and that'll be good. Anyway, so you're going to reach a range of different people and audiences, I would think.
I
with
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And of course, I'm in different venues in different parts
Yeah.
of the city, and that's going to be nice too. I mean, that makes it hard logistically.
Yeah.
But I've worked out my bus routes with all the trams, and I know all the lack of trams.
Lack of trams, yeah.
And
it's a bit
I've
much.
got a plan, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, you're down in Leith for some of them, aren't you?
I'm doing TikTok down in Leith for the first week for 4 or 5 shows before it comes up to the Cowgate.
And I was telling people, Leith is like the Edinburgh Brooklyn, and I thought, am I right on this? But then somebody from actual Brooklyn that knows Leith well was saying yesterday the same thing, and I'm like, well, maybe I was right, even though I was just saying that. I think Leith has got a lot going for it.
Oh, it's got a great identity.
That sort of
Yeah,
thing.
it's got
up
its own
and coming,
identity.
and it's certainly buzzing. And I think more people need to go down there, especially now the trams aren't there. That we need to get down there and see things out of the centre of town. Really.
Absolutely, and it's actually just been shortlisted in for the UK Town of Culture.
Yes.
So it's Although I have to say,
exciting.
the town I live in also went for it, so we're a bit gutted
Sure.
we're not in the list. But I think it's
I
brilliant.
know.
For
Once
me,
once you've lost, you pick the best one out of what's left. Really, you don't. You have to not be precious about it. It's like, I've lost. There's no point even hoping anymore. Let's see what else I can support.
So no, it'd be great, and I think it's really interesting. Certainly, PBH Free Fringe has loads more venues down in Leith. Venues in the city centre are becoming harder.
Yeah.
And actually, also, as we're becoming much more aware of neurodiversity, not everybody wants the craziness and the busyness of the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah, you want to get away from it. We were just, trying to find somewhere quiet for this, and I did stumble upon a quiet space, but then I realised that other people also want a quiet space, so we moved there and let them have that, because so you've got to be aware. And then I felt really selfish, because I am selfish, let's be honest, but we moved, so that's good.
We're here.
We're here now. We're here, hopefully not in anyone's way. I'm always trying not to get in people's way, and what happens is I get in people's way even more by trying to avoid doing it. It's difficult,
That's just called life.
Yeah, that's good.
Just called life.
Overthinking. Thinking myself into being the worst person I can possibly be, which is like the opposite of you, because it sounds like you've really, really done well with everything, and you're making life a glorious thing.
I'm trying my best to. I'm trying my best to.
Celebrating it.
I think, grabbing life with both hands is certainly what I'm all about, really, and that's what the Fringe is about for me.
Yes.
It's what my shows are about. It's what life is about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
it doesn't mean I don't have tough moments. It doesn't mean I'm perfect, because I'm certainly not. Well, I might tell people I am, but that is not a truth.
And people don't believe people who say they're perfect anyway, really.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
People do believe people who say they're imperfect, even if they are nearly perfect, because people are more likely to believe the negative things.
The thing is, actually, no one can be perfect, because everyone's definition of perfect would be different.
Yes, it is very subjective. That's
so
perfectly
it's
true.
Impossible.
Yes. It is impossible to be perfect. And we can strive, but not go around telling people that's what we're doing. Yeah.
So yes, interesting.
Well, this has been a good talk. I think we've plumbed the depths rather than being profound.
We've been quite a few places.
Yes,
we've done 20,000 words around all sorts of topics, rather than 20,000 miles around the world on a bike.
Yes, exactly. 20,000 words, 27 minutes, 28 minutes by the time we finish. It's all good. So good luck with all your shows. Plug again. Where are they?
Okay, so we've got It's Your Story, 11:05, Brewdog, Lothian Road.
Good.
Kids show, under 10s. We've got The World at 15 miles an hour, Brewdog, Lothian Road, 12:15. 12 plus. We've got Bike Race Through Africa.
Yeah.
That is Supercube on George Street, 3:35 on during the weekdays, but not Tuesdays. We have got TikTok, which is down in Leith for the first week at Three Old Monks, and then moving up onto the Cowgate to Carbon Lounge.
Nice.
From the 19th. So come to one of my shows.
There's loads of opportunity. You can't go, that's the same time as my show, because all of them, really.
You've got a very long
You've got
show
a lot
if you
of
clash
choice.
with all of them. Yeah.
All right then. Thank you very much, Naomi. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.